All right. So buenas and half a day, everyone. The Committee on Education, Youth Affairs of Federated Fortuno Congressman Hoban Guahan is now called to order. Today is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2023, and the time is 3:00 p.m. in compliance with Section 7, subsection 1 of the standing rules of the the Congressman Hoban or the Youth Congress. Notices of the committee hearing were published and sent to all representatives and stakeholders via email and through social media platforms, with the first notice going out on Monday, January 1st, and on Wednesday, January 3rd. Just to remind everyone on the general rules and decorum, individuals testifying who wish to speak shall be first recognized by the chair before speaking. This committee hearing is also recorded for minute-taking purposes. Before we begin, I would like to, first take the opportunity to thank everyone for coming here. And I will call on our Vice Chair, Christian Ramos, to do the roll call, but it'll be done a little different because we don't have a list of our current representatives.
Okay, hi everyone, welcome again to our Committee on Education and Youth Affairs committee hearing. Usually we do roll call, usually we know how we do it every meeting, but for this time, since we're on you, we'll just go introduce ourselves one by one if you're representing a village or a school. And then I guess you're very level.
I'll start from my left.
You want to start with Ben?
Today, my name is Francis Ben Olandis. I'm representing Ukdu High School. I am 12th grade.
Today, everyone, my name is Cody Annie, and I'm representing Okudu High School, and I am a senior.
Today, my name is Trevor Spoigui. I am representing Community Mark Harmon, and I'm young.
Today, my name is Ty Whitaker, representing Hugo, and I'm a freshman at Gilbert.
Hi guys, my name is Mason Paz. I am a senior here at UOG and I'm representing Puerto Rico.
And then, hi everyone, my name is Christian. I'm a senior at UOG and I'm representing UOG.
My name is Noe and I'm a junior at St. John's. I'm representing community.
All right, thank you. And I'm Representative Austin Fortuno, and I represent UOG, and I'm a senior. Again, thanks everyone for coming, and I'll be sure that the next time we do the roll call, we'll have an actual list of representatives to read out, so you don't have to do that. This is our fourth committee hearing. That's crazy. This is our fourth committee hearing since the term began, and I'm glad that we're able to kind of meet, get some new reps, hear some bills that will benefit, the education and the welfare of our island's youth. We have two agenda items today, and we will begin with resolution number 14-34 LS, introduced by Representative Kyan Toh, which is relative to condemning acts of violence in Guam schools and urging the Guam Department of Education and all schools in Guam to work toward eliminating violence in schools. The bill was introduced at our last session, December 16th, 2023, on the floor, and was referred to the Committee on Education and Youth Affairs on the floor at that session. So unfortunately, Representative Toh is unable to come today. I hope he's doing all right. But as the bill's main author and principal sponsor, I want to give Representative Toh the opportunity to kind of introduce the bill before we start hearing it. He did send some written remark, so I'm going to go ahead and just read it for you guys. Okay. There have been many outbreaks of violence on school grounds lately, and my intent of this resolution is to tell schools and students that we condemn violence. By passing this resolution, it sends a message to students that we, as a youth legislative body, does not condone violence amongst our peers. Please vote to pass this resolution onto session so that we can take a step towards unity and collaboration throughout our island. So those were the written remarks that he sent as part of the introduction. At this point, I'm going to start calling on representatives. We'll we'll start with our existing reps so that our new reps can get an idea of how it works. We'll start with there's only three of you, so any three wanna, I'll start on my vice chair, Christian Ramos, to give his remarks. Or whatever it is.
So, going through the resolution, I am in full support of what it's trying to address with the initiative, but just some concerns or some suggestions I would have for the authors. It mentioned that there's been 14 terroristic conduct complaints at schools, and it does provide a statistic here that there was violence that occurred last month in December 2023. But I guess a suggestion I would want to consider is maybe providing more statistics on, school violence that happened maybe in the last year or the last 5 years, just to really showcase that this is something that needs to be put on the floor, needs to be addressed, needs to be in our Guam Congress. I don't have any amendments that I would need to suggest. I think it's just providing more statistics on the other school violence situations that have been, maybe in the last year or the last 3 or 5 years. So that the rest of the student representatives who don't experience school violence at their campuses get to really see like what other occurrences happen at other campuses than theirs. So yeah, that would just be my view.
Thank you, Representative Christian. Representative Paz will now recognize you at this time.
Okay, thank you, Representative Fortuno. So my remarks are going to be similar to Christian's in that my position on this resolution, I am in full support. Condemning school violence. This has been an issue that we've been dealing with for many years, even as the UOG students were in high school. But before we do that, I guess I have similar concerns as Christian, less on the statistics, but more on the argument and supporting facts on this resolution. So if we look at the third paragraph of the third whereas, so that's the main argument of this resolution, right? And I think this part is good, but at the same time, I would request from the representative Kyan Toh that we would make the argument, I guess, more substantive. Includes what is it? Includes more support by, again, adding additional statistics, furthering his argument and expanding more on the context of school violence, like what are the causes, and yeah, some other ways that we can address and look into this issue further. That's all my comments.
All right, thanks, Representative Ethan Paz. I'm gonna go ahead and recognize Representative Ty Whitaker.
So I'll just echo what the previous representative was saying. I agree. I'm in full support of the intent of this bill, and I agree that it could be stronger. It's kind of what they're saying here. We could bring in more evidence and more examples and strengthen the argument to make it even more impactful. But as far as the intent and everything, it's
Right. Thank you, Representative Whitaker. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll just continue on this side. Representative Traven, who hails from JFK, right? So this is probably close to home. But yeah, you can go ahead.
I'm in full support of this bill as well. And from the previous representatives, yes, I do agree that there should be more power into this bill, more arguments so that it can pass through our legislative committee and throughout the others. What I witnessed at JFK was more riots like that, not just JFK, but every other school, not just high schools, middle schools as well. This bill should and hopefully impact the students now to stop this so we can bring back more of the unity in these students and bring back more of the kindness around the kids nowadays.
All right, thanks, President Triffin. And before we move forward, yeah, I know you're from JFK, and one of the incidents that got named in this resolution was that incident with Simon Sanchez students, right? That had a little, it wasn't little, it was had an there was a fight, and are you aware of a word by word of how that situation went through? Did you, how, what? Not
I
really?
just saw it online.
Oh, you saw it on, I was, oh, yeah, because I heard, it was already at the Simon Sanchez time of the day, and so
Back to the-
all of the JFK students are probably gone by then. But you know, I mean, if there was an incident like that, I'm sure like they won't just discipline the Simon Sanchez community. I'm sure they'll be like, this is a reminder to everyone that the JFK part of the day too, to kind of, you know, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, thanks for giving your thoughts, Representative Trayvon. I'm gonna go to Representative Cody.
So I do agree with this bill, but I would love to see more statistics because I myself, I am going to a public school.
Mm.
And I feel like with more facts and the statistics of it, the legislative body can see what's really happening, like, Representative Todd said, like, what happened the past years. And yeah, that's all I really wish to know more about.
Thanks, Representative Cody. I'm gonna call on Representative Ben.
Okay, so I do support the purpose of this bill. Now, I'm really just reiterating what my fellow representatives said before. The power behind it, it could be more. But the real purpose behind the intention behind the resolution, we believe that it can be brought up more before it reaches the body. New Congress.
All right. Thanks, Representative Ben. And then last but not least, Representative Noe.
I also do support this bill, and although I don't witness like this kind of violence, I think it's important that like other people like that also do not live in their schools should know about this. And also like just like what previous representatives have said, just adding more statistics and be more like a bit more specific.
Definitely. All right. Yeah. Thanks to all the representatives for your incitement statements. We don't have any written testimonies that's been submitted, but I'll definitely relay it to you guys if we do get any. But I just want to kind of, well, it's my turn. I forgot I have to speak. Yes, just give my 2 cents on this resolution. It's unfortunate that something like this needs to, you know, something as, you know, schools are supposed to be institutions of learning. It's not a boxing circle. You're not there to fight anyone, you're there to learn, right? And I guess Representative Toh's intent with this resolution is kind of send a strong message that, you know, the Guam Youth Congress, being the body that represents the youth of Guam, condemns this kind of violence in our schools. And you know, you guys, we've raised some very insightful suggestions, and I hope we can make those changes at the committee level. I know some of the representatives have brought up that although the intent and condemning it is definitely there, we want to make sure that we build the case for why it's necessary, and that involves making sure that we name the right statistics. We tell them what the situation is in our schools. I mean, we know that fighting happens in schools, but we need to acknowledge what makes it so alarming that it requires something like us to adopt a resolution to condemn it. Representative Toh definitely, I believe the driving force was that incident, but I'm sure it won't be that difficult to get some of the statistics. I mean, he's named already the incidences in 2023 alone, and 14 is 14 too many, right? And so, and yeah, it says doubling from 2022. And so if we can fortify this resolution and getting some of that statistics and facts, and then just build on the argument too, right? That could definitely help get a strong message. Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and wait, sorry, just pulling up my script. But thanks for everyone for their insightful comments. I will bill our resolution 14-34 LS as introduced by Representative Kyan Toh is officially heard by this committee. We have another agenda item, but I need to restart the Zoom because we're gonna go out in 10 minutes. Speaker Vinch, I just want to acknowledge Speaker Vinch is on the Zoom call. She's chiming in. If you just want to say hi, Speaker Vinch.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm sorry I was able to join late. I am still stuck here at school. It is loud. I'm in a classroom. But I really just wanted to hop on real quickly and say that I really appreciate you guys just being here and giving your insights, especially with resolutions like these where it is important that we speak as we do body for the youth. So thank you guys for being here. I will speak later when I am able to, just because I am crammed in the corner of a classroom. So thank you guys so much. And I'm glad I could just be here to listen in and get your guys' insight and your opinions. So we can move forward with standing up for these kinds of things, as unfortunately we do see it happening. Thank you so much. And thank you, Austin.
Thanks, Speaker Vinch. I'm gonna go ahead and end this call or end this meeting so that we can hop on the new meeting, and then we'll go to the next resolution. I'll send you the link, Speaker Vinch. Let me do that now.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Got it. Thank you. All right. We're back from our break. Yeah, one more agenda item. Let me read this out. It's a long title. Resolution number 15-34 CUR introduced by Austin Gaizmer Fortuno relative to supporting the call of Federated State of Micronesia youth attending the University of Guam to raise attention to the recent cut in funding for the National Scholarship Fund that has caused uncertainties and concerns for their educational future, and to call the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia to consider the concerns raised by the students due to the recent cuts in scholarship funding. The bill was introduced on January 1st, Monday, January 1st, and was referred to the Committee on Education and Youth Affairs on same day, Monday, January 1st, on an interim referral by the Committee on Rules, the acting Committee on Rules Chairperson, Representative Nathan Paz. As the bill's main author and principal sponsor, I will begin by introducing the resolution briefly, and you'll have copies of it. I speak before the committee as the main author of resolution number 15-34 CUR. This resolution was introduced in response to a concern that came from our constituency, the people that I represent here at the University of Guam, specifically students that come from the Federated States of Micronesia. There's been a recent development in the scholarship funding that they use. So a lot of the students that attend from the FSM that go to UOG while on a scholarship, and they have this thing called the FSM National Scholarship and Financial Assistance Program, the NSFA, and it's this money that gets appropriated by their government to provide state scholarships, all sorts of scholarships to send students, of course, right, to build their workforce, right? They study here, and then as part of their requirement, they go back to their home islands and contribute to the economy, et cetera, et cetera. And we do have a large population of them that reside here at the university because, you know, they live in the residence halls and they're here. Unfortunately, an issue that has come to their attention and they have brought forward to us was that if you look at the number 9 on page 1, the FSM National Congress recently passed public law number 23-24, which makes appropriations for the funding of the national government of the Federated of FSM for fiscal year 24. In layman's terms, right, the FSM national government adopted their budget for the new year. And in this budget, look at the next whereas on page 2, they adopted an appropriation of $500,000 for their national scholarship fund for the new year, 2024, which is unfortunately a whopping 83% decrease in funding from its $3 million appropriation the prior year. So that's a $2.5 million decrease. Of course, this is the affairs of another country. We're not privy to, we're not involved in that process. We can't dictate, we can't interfere. The concern now being is that we have students here attending at the university who come from FSM, who come from the FSM that are now having genuine concerns about whether do they still have a scholarship? Are their scholarships still valid? Is there money for their scholarship? There's an atmosphere of uncertainty and concern amongst the students here at the of FSM students here at the university, especially those who benefit from the National Scholarship Fund. And the goal with this resolution is if you look at the resolve section. First, we stand in solidarity with the students, right? We recognize that education is an important step in their progress. And the recent cuts in scholarship funding do pose a challenge to that, and we stand in solidarity with them. Second resolve calls on the national government of the FSM to consider the concerns that was raised by these students due to the recent cuts in scholarship. This is very important because in my discussions, or in our discussions actually, I'm sure Vice Chair Ramos will also speak on this because he was also one of the people that's been approached on this. One of the issues is that, well, now that the concern is coming from the students, they don't have that channel to speak to their national government to say what's going on. Am I even going to be able to enroll next semester? They're not getting the answers that they need. And so hopefully with this resolution, we are able to adopt a position that we are calling on their government to consider their concerns. The third resolve calls for diplomatic dialogue between the governments of Guam and the FSM to address and rectify the issues surrounding the fund. And this is important because our goal is to help these students out. And if there's a way, of course, we don't want to see a scenario where scholarships are being stripped away from students. And so we are able to facilitate that kind of dialogue between the government of Guam, specifically the University of Guam, right? The administration of the UOG, to communicate with the FSM national government to make sure, right, that everyone is on the same page, that, one, we don't want to see people being stripped of their scholarships, and two, we want to be able to make sure that these students who are already recipients of the scholarship are able to complete their studies here at the university. Lastly, the last resolve is, of course, we want to take a position that we as a youth Congress who represent the youth of Guam, including the students from the FSM that attend the university, that we want to commit to monitoring the developments and engage in advocacy efforts to ensure the restoration of stable and sufficient funding for the fund and safeguarding the educational future of FSM youth at the University of Guam. Again, as much as, we don't have that channel, right? This is a domestic affairs of another country, but we want to try to maximize our support for the students who are on Guam, who are part of Guam's youth and attend the university to kind of help them out, right? And that's the goal with this last portion of the resolution. The other resolve calls for the certification and then the adoption of the reso and specific persons. This resolution is addressed to specific persons. His Excellency Wesley Semina, the President of FSM, the Honorable Edmund Moses, the Speaker of the FSM Congress, the Honorable Wayne Mendiola, the Acting Secretary of FSM's Department of Education, the Honorable Johnny M. Silbanus, the Acting Consul General of the FSM Consulate Office in Guam, the Honorable Dr. Anita Bor Enriquez, the President of the University of Guam, our Youth Oversight Chair and Higher Education Oversight Chair, Senator Amanda Shelton, Vice Speaker Tina Munya Barnes, who is also the Chairperson on the Committee on Regional Affairs, and Speaker Therese M. Terlahi, and Governor Lulian Guerrero. So that's basically what the resolution entails. That will also conclude my introduction as the bill's main author. I'm going to proceed now with any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions. I'm open to it from members of the committee. Again, please feel free to direct any them to me as the main author and the principal sponsor if you have questions, right? I'm here to answer any of that too, if necessary. And now as chair, I will recognize members of the committee. We'll go the same route we did the last time. So I'm gonna call on Representative Christian Ramos.
So, with this resolution, right, it's some. Yeah. So with this resolution, something I'm very supportive of, because a lot of my friends who attend UOG, a lot of students who attend UOG come from FSM, and they come here to pursue their higher education, and to hear that there was an 83% decrease from what they usually get every single year, it's very concerning, especially for them having to think, oh, how am I going to continue school at UOG? I have friends who are even seniors at UOG who can't even register for classes because they don't have the scholarship for them to register for next semester. This is very alarming to them, to think like, oh, what happens next for me? I'm very in support of the intent of this resolution, and I think it's very important that we get it passed through the legislative body. So, hopefully this document can go to whoever has the control of what the processes work, and give the students what they need to pursue their higher education here at UOG or GCC, right? But other than that, I think, yes, I'm in support of this resolution.
Thank you, Representative Ramos, Representative Potts.
Great, thank you, Representative. So, similar to I'm very strong support of this resolution. This was brought to our attention with November, right? For efforts from our frontline island. And it's very this is very concerning, especially with the decrease. One of the things that UOG echoes is that finances and tuition costs should never be a barrier to pursuing higher education. And we've had this petition for years, and we know that FSM youth and students getting their education here, they go back to their islands and their nation states, go back to contribute to their communities. So it's very important, I feel, that we pass this in our community to get it passed through our youth congress. And I also like the fact that copies can be transmitted to essentially all the political heads who would have the power and the diplomacy to be able to fix this. This is just an easy pass for me.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna call on Representative Whitaker.
Also in full support of this bill. I really believe that this is a good cause. I love how the bill is written. It's very powerful. It's very excellent. I think. But I do have a question for the chair. You mentioned that a lot of people have brought this concern. Do you have any like testimonies going on with it?
Yes. So I don't have an officially worded testimony. As part of the committee process, I hope to gather some of those written actual written testimonies so that we can attach append that to the committee report that's going to go out to all the representatives. But based on what we've heard, and Christian kind of attested to, is that there are conversations within UOG. There are student orgs that are very vocal about this. You know, you got the UOGs, you got the Residence Hall Governing Council, which is an organization. We have a lot of people that are very vocal, and yes, that part of the process will try to reach out to them, see if they want to have written testimonies. But yeah, we've received some input already, and yeah, hopefully we can do that. Thanks.
So I think I would just make it. Icing on the cake.
Definitely. Thanks, Representative Whitaker. Go to Representative Traven.
I'm also in support of this bill. I'm gonna reiterate with Representative Fortuno. No student should be stripped from their scholarship, even though they're from FSM or any other island. But every student who does attend UOG or GCC, they should fulfill the 4 stages of college without worrying about their scholarship being taken away. And especially the students that are wanting and that are showing that they want to learn at Guam, especially Guam at GCC, UOG, and then they're showing that they want to and they're not, and they're caring more about it, right? Their education. And you never know, they can even bring it back to where they are from and help their identity or their people who are from their island.
All right, thanks, Representative Trevin. I'm going to go to Representative Cody.
So I do agree with everything that was said, and I know it sounds like an echo, but I have to agree with Trevin, Representative Trevin, because we do get some people from other places that come here and they spend their money and they give back to our community too. So for them to not get what they were promised or what they deserve is not right. This isn't right. So other than that, I do agree with this.
Right. Thank you, Representative Cody. Representative Ben.
Okay, so I do just have one question, Mr. Chair. Now, when we were writing this resolution, did you find out why the FSM did do an 83% decrease in funding? Because that is just a lot compared to 2023
Yeah.
and 2024.
Yes, that's a very good question. And I did not something on paper kind of record. So part of the when I was still in the beginning stages writing this resolution. Again, this is something that's been championed by other UOG students, specifically those from belonging in student orgs that relate to the FSM Islands, and we're in close communication with them. And based on my conversations with them, they did have meetings with one national government representative, which is the Consul General. And according to their explanations, part of the reasons behind the cut was that again, right, when they were adopting the national government's budget, FSM recently had a FSM makes. Let me actually have the yellow paper. They gain part of the money that they make to fund our government comes from fishing licenses. In 2023, they made up to like $73 million in revenue just from fishing licenses alone. You know, this is when people come to the waters of the FSM companies to fish, right? And they generate revenue from that, and they made $73 million in 2023. FSM recently had a constitutional convention to amend their constitution to change the way that revenue gets split between the governments. Used to be that 100% of that revenue goes to the national government. And again, the national government funds certain things, right? And part of that was the National Scholarship Fund. When they had their convention, they adopted an amendment to split that revenue between the national government and the state governments, right? Chuk, Kashrai, Palau, yeah. Now, the revenue is split 50-50 between the national government and the other 50 to the state governments. And of course, that means reduced revenue for the national government. And so when they were deliberating the budget, they needed to make some cuts. And I guess based on that, part of the cuts that was made was to the National Scholarship Fund. So, right. And you know, we're not in the business, and I don't think Guam in general as a political entity is not in the business of dictating the political affairs of another nation. But we want to be able to at least provide some solidarity and support and kind of echo some of the sentiments that are coming from FSMUs that live on Guam, as Representative Cody stated, contribute to Guam and are now having struggles with whether they even have a future education academically here on Guam. And but yeah, that's an explanation that I've heard from the people that I've spoken to in regards to what justified the cut that they made.
Thank you for your answer. Just to add on. Yeah, it is the 80% increase in the funding that is substantial. And the students have the right to vary their scholarship funding is being diminished from 3 million to 500,000. That's a huge chunk of what was promised.
All right. Thank you, Representative Ben. I'm gonna go to Representative Noe.
I think that I agree with what everyone says about it. I think it's important that it's passed by votes. I think it's important because everyone deserves an education, and it's something that they should be 100%
Definitely. Thank you, Representative Noe. Just want to give a little closure onto this resolution. And again, I thank everyone for our comments and, you know, some of them are expressing your support already. And then some of the questions too, I guess. Yeah, that's definitely crucial. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and give the speaker the opportunity to chime in too. Wait, let me just mute and then you can go ahead and speak.
Thank you so much, Representative Fortuno. I just wanted to say real quickly that I really do admire this resolution just because it's speaking in an aspect where we don't have the power to change that exactly, but we do have the power to speak up for the youth. And as we do serve the youth, I mean, this is something that's clearly affecting a lot of UOG students, even as you were saying that you've seen as like talk around the campus. But even just having this opportunity to speak on this resolution is going to not only help UOG students who are using this, but kind of give us the idea and serve as like a opportunity for us to speak where we don't have the power to change. So thank you so much for doing this, Austin, and thank you for everyone who was able to speak on it today.
Thank you so much, Speaker Bench. Yes, thank you for also expressing your support. And hopefully, you know, we're able to give our little share of, you know, helping advocate this issue for them. And again, just disclosure, right? We, and I think this we kind of tap into, right? A part of our goal is really just to make the noise to support them. Although we're not really involved directly in the process of helping create the solutions for them, but we can be part of the people that you know give the voice, right? And stand as, you know, representatives of the youth in Guam, saying stand in solidarity to support them on this cause. Without any further remarks, or any oral testimonies from anyone, written testimonies on this resolution and resolution 14-34 will be accepted by the committee until Friday, January 5th, 2023. Testimonies may be submitted via email to Chairperson Austin Fortuno at Representative Austin Fortuno at gmail.com. And with that, Resolution 15-34 COR, as introduced, is officially heard by the committee. And I'm gonna go, there's an agenda item for extension of remarks. Does anybody have any remarks that they want to say? All right. Without any further items on the agenda, this committee hearing is hereby adjourned at 3:57 p.m. Satus Masi and adios. Thank you, Speaker Lynch, for coming in.
Thank you so much, Representative Fortuno, and thank you, everyone.
Bye.